Hello everyone, my name is Wayne.
And I'm Rebecca.
And we are your Bourbon Journey. December 15th of last year, we made a trip to Rabbit Hole in Louisville. And it happened to be the day before we went over to Michael Veach's and were able to sit on the porch, which actually ended up being inside the house.
Because it was Christmas time, it was chilly.
It was Christmas time. So that was kind of an early Christmas present to drink over there. But like I said, we got in the day before, ran over to Rabbit Hole and walked in, and my wife found the bottle on my left, your right, and I purchased the bottle that's on my right, your left. So Rebecca, you want to talk about what is special about both of these bottles?
Absolutely, because Rabbit Hole is just a very fascinating place to start with, and I think they're always trying to go down that rabbit hole, so they're always pretty interesting. So let's talk a little bit about each one. So this one here, the first one, Rabelo Cask Strength, it's a distillery series, and that's a 375 milliliter bottle. That might not show well on the picture, but that's what it is. Rabelo, which means little tail, was the name given to boats with long timber projecting off the rear, which was used to steer the vessel. So I think that's kind of interesting. So this is a straight bourbon whiskey. It's made by, the company is Rabbit Hole Distillery, but we do not know who distilled it. The fact that it's lacking a Kentucky on there makes me wonder. The mash bill is 65% corn, 25% wheat, and 10% malted barley. The age is 3 years in a number 3 wood-fired toasted and charred new oak barrel. Then it was finished for 4 months in ruby port casks. I love ruby port. The proof is 100.8. It was released in 2023, and as Wayne said, we did purchase it December 15th of 2023 for $49.99. Now, this second one is part of the Founders series. This is specifically the Dareinger Founders Collection from 2023. And Kava, the owner, says the journey of this exceptional Dareinger offering spans of 2 continents and 3 dedicated families. It began when I designated an older stock of the same wheated bourbon used to make our coveted Dareinger bourbon. It was aged in our signature toasted charred oak barrels, toasting the barrel over a natural wood fire at a lower temperature to make sure the process yields unequaled complexity of flavor. So again, it's a straight bourbon whiskey, undisclosed distillery, same mash bill we talked about before, which is 65% corn, 25% wheat, and 10% malted barley. It was initially aged for 3 years, but then the really fascinating part happens for the finish. Aged in alligator char oak barrels for 5 years, finished and aged in Pedro Jimenez sherry casks for 2 years, and aged in 60-year-old American white oak barrels for an additional month. The proof is 102.1. Again, we purchased it December 15th, and it was $295. So these are both wheated bourbons, and we've been on a wheated thing lately, and I'm really looking forward, because I did taste this one at the distillery that day, because I just wasn't going to put down $300 without tasting it, and I loved that little taste that I got at the bar that day. But for some reason, we've had it for 18 months and have not opened it, so I'm very excited to dig into each of these.
And the one that we purchased, the smaller one, 375,
Rabelo.
The Rabelo. That one I actually selected. I didn't want to spend a ton, I'll be honest. And we were looking, and we did a tasting, and I really, really liked this one here. And the other, I don't remember the other 2 we tasted, but they were much more expensive, and I thought this was really good.
Well, we love ruby port.
Yeah.
I mean, our wine days, ruby port was one of my kind of dessert wines that I enjoyed having, and I love a good ruby port.
Yeah.
So that's no surprise we liked it.
Right. And it once again, it's a 375. Now that falls into this category that we've talked about with a couple other places, that it's a lower buy-in. I mean, if it were a full-size bottle, you're talking $100 bottle. But at $49.95, that's kind of, yeah, I'll give it a try. And I liked all the profiles, and I liked the taste, and I'm looking forward to doing a real serious taste today.
Yeah, and my understanding is that Rabbit Hole does these distillery series things quite a bit. So if you're in Louisville, it doesn't harm anything to stop in there and see what they have as their distillery series, because you cannot find them anywhere else. Now, they did sell those online, but they sold out almost instantly online, because I think they'd limited what I read was 100 bottles only to be sold online, and they were gone in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So again, stop into Rabbit Hole if you're in Louisville, because even if you can't get a tour that day or you've already done a tour, we like to stop in just to see what they have to offer.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with Rabelo.
Okay.
I mean, for wheated, it is, but it's probably the influence of the ruby port. I mean, it's a pretty darker. It's a medium amber.
And it's funny, on a side note, as I kind of picked it up, I can actually smell it at about this point.
Oh,
Yeah, the legs are really good.
the legs are great.
So,
Oh yeah, let's see.
Good.
You know there's ruby port involved.
Oh, yeah.
This smells yummy. It's got those kind of cherry notes and grape notes going on.
I'm getting a bit of baking spice.
Mm-hmm. It's like a combo cinnamon nutmeg.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. The sweet note for me is definitely the port.
Mm-hmm. And you're definitely not picking up the wheat in this stuff.
No, because the port's taken over the wheat, I do believe. At least on the nose. I don't know what it's going to do on the palate.
Okay, well, let's take a taste.
To Rabelo.
To Rabelo. Oh, yeah.
If you don't like port, you probably would not like this, because it definitely is port forward.
Mm-hmm.
I am getting a little bit of wheat on it now on the palate, though.
It's interesting because I'm getting the grapes now. I mean, I definitely know there was wine involved with this guy, and it's very good.
Well, you're going to giggle because, you know, every time I drink wheated, I'm always getting something that needs honey butter on it. And today for breakfast, I decided I was going to have a multi-grain toast with honey butter on it, because I've been talking about it so much. I'm like, I need to go grab that. Well, this is that, but instead of the honey, I'm thinking it's got grape jelly. Toast, because it's got this great viscosity for the butter piece, right? And it's got some good grains happening, and then that grape is almost coming through the sweetness of a grape jelly. I'm not enough to eat. I'm still hungry.
Me, it's more. I've said this in one other thing we reviewed. I'm getting like the grape plant. It's hard to explain. It's not like I go chew a plant, but it's that sort of the taste reminds me of the smell when I'm going through a winery and I get
through the
close
vineyard.
to the plant. Yes, to the vineyard. Excuse me. And yes, and it's got that, and that's what my palate is picking up.
Yeah, your nose is telling your palate that it's the plant on the vine. It's the vine.
Yes.
And for me, it's gone all the way to grape jelly for me.
Yeah.
I don't think it's overly sweet, though.
No, it is not overly sweet.
And that's probably some of the other finishing things that they've done. But because I'm getting some oak notes on it, and that tempers the sweetness. If it was just grape jelly, I'm not even a grape jelly person. That's probably the last jelly I usually pick to put on something. But this tastes amazing, and it's got to be that oak note that's kind of calming it down a bit.
I'm also getting a little black pepper in the back. Just a little bit. This is very good. This is very different. I don't think it's for everybody. And I'm not saying it's bad. If you don't like wine, if you do not like port, just don't even buy it. Don't even try it, because you won't like it.
They might try it if they had a friend. If they were at our house, we'd let them try it.
I would, but at the distillery, I don't know. It's just...
If it's a free try.
Okay, well, if it's a free try, see, she's going to correct me until I just agree with her. So feel free to try it. You know, go.
I'm just saying, it's like, you know, there's some things I wouldn't want to just buy it, right? But if you're not in, and I would say this for anything, if you're not into wines at all, or they just don't do it for you, anything that has a sherry or a wine or any kind of finish, I would highly recommend tasting it first. Whether it's in a bar, in a distillery, or at a friend's house. Taste it before you buy it. You might be pleasantly surprised, and who knows, it might make you like wine a little bit.
Well, there you go.
Going the reverse thing. We're normally trying to get people to like bourbon.
Well, there you go. So let's go.
What do you think about the finish?
The finish.
I thought it was pretty long. It was medium to long, and I got those oak notes I was talking about.
I would agree. It wasn't real hot going down. It lasted a little while, but it didn't choke you out. And like I said, a little bit of black pepper for me, maybe a tiny bit of cinnamon, maybe a little bit of the barrel. It's very good.
Yeah, I agree. I was getting more white pepper than black, but I eat more white pepper than I do black pepper. So
well, I eat more black pepper than white.
You can see how different we are. We just compliment one another, just saying.
Well, some people call it compliment. Other people call it a fight. But no, anyway, seriously. Should we
It's
go
very
on?
good. So let's go on to the Dareinger Founders Collection, which I'm very excited about.
Okay, I'm gonna put that one up there.
It is very similar in color to the Rabelo. Maybe it's a hint darker because of probably from that alligator char that it sat in. The alligator char is a really heavy char.
Now it's funny. I picked up the legs on that one better than I've picked up on this.
Yeah,
And it
I'm
may
getting a
just be-
rim.
oh, yeah, I'm getting a rim and I'm getting a lot of bubbles. I don't know.
This may be that it's a heavier viscosity and it's going to take the legs longer to form. Because if it's a lighter viscosity, they kind of go fast. Like right now, look at this side on mine. I got a whole row of legs.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I think it's probably a heavier. Heavier legs take a little longer to form.
Or I have a dirty glass. I don't know.
Oh,
Anyway, so let's go ahead and nose it. Let's see what we got.
wow. It's related, but different.
There's something odd.
It's got more oak. It's got oak notes on the nose, and you do know there's a wine influence.
I'm getting a slight smell, and I know it isn't in here, but sort of what you get when you get an Aromas finish type. There's that sort of a sweetness. What's weird so far is I actually picked up more in the first one than this one. I'm not sure why.
Well, my gut on that is because this one is straight ruby port cask. This one has several different finishes, so there's probably a lot going on. It's competing a little bit, and we have had it open for about an hour because since it hadn't been open, I wanted to open it up and let it sit for a bit. But I think it's got a little bit more happening, so it's a little bit harder to discern.
Let's go ahead and taste it. If that should start kind of maybe cracking the nut.
Dareinger Founders.
Dareinger Founders.
I got a smokiness right away on that.
I get a butterscotch type flavor in the front. That wasn't on the nose.
I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to go back to that wine stuff. I got butterscotch instead.
I'm getting smoke. I agree with you. Smokiness and butterscotch. Those are the only two things I'm picking up at this point with this taste. This is very good.
We need to have another. And I am getting some of the wine notes that second taste. It took that layer to come through. But boy, it is so nice. It's less sweet than the first one. And I know that's because of that resting that alligator char. I think I said it was 5 years. That's a long time on that heavy of a char, but it's also going to pull a lot of barrel notes because of the char.
I think this is one that as it opens up is going to get big. There is a lot going on there. My palate's having a tough time with it. I feel like I've been fired upon in combat by a lot of ammunition, and my mind is trying to catch up with what's going on. This is really, really good.
Yeah, this is one you kind of want to pour. We did 1 ounce pours today. This is one you might want to do a 2 ounce pour and just sit with it for a couple hours and just let it kind of rest in your mouth and taste it a few times and see what you're thinking about it. You know, listen to some music, have a little chat while you're, tasting this. Doing it this rapidly on a taste might not be doing it justice, but it has a ton of layers, and every taste is bringing more of those layers out. Again, like the first one, I'm not sure this is for everyone. It's not as sweet or as wine forward as the first one was, but it also has that smokiness, and I know some people don't like that. So these are both very specific to your palate choices.
Yeah, I definitely, if you don't like smokiness, you really should pass on this. The thing I'm picking up now is, I only picked this up a couple times, is I am getting the Oloroso. I'm getting an Oloroso type
the sherry,
flavor.
the sherry.
Yes. there's just a little bit of a hint of the Bard's Oloroso to me in it. I get that little bit of a taste. And it's funny, I don't get the butterscotch now. But there's layers opening up on this.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Christmas morning, keep going package after package.
Yeah, and the smokiness, just to clarify, it's not like a peatiness, okay? But the smokiness is like when you open up that smoker and you've been smoking a brisket, and that smell and that feel that comes out, or if you take a little piece of that meat candy, as we say, that's the kind of smokiness it's reminding me of. Yeah.
Well,
it's and for me, being over the pit, and doing some smoking with some meat, that's a great aroma.
No, it's funny because I started off with butterscotch in the first taste, then went to what I felt almost like an Oloroso. This last taste, and I normally don't get this, I got vanilla. I'm really, my palate is really bamboozled. And we had a pour a little bit earlier, if you could say, kind of a warm up drink, but certainly lighter than these.
It was also a wheated bourbon.
It was a wheated bourbon.
You would never know these are wheated bourbons, I don't think, if you were just to taste them.
Oh, no.
It's hard to pull the wheat. I got a little bit of the wheat on this one initially with that whole toastiness, and I think it was really the smoke that came forward later, like a nice dark piece of toast with that grape jelly on it was what I was getting. And that's kind of wheat notes for me. But later on, it's more of the wine, more of the smokiness. It's just getting deeper and darker for me. And the finish, I haven't had a sip in a while, and the finish is still there. I was gonna keep talking, and you were gonna keep talking until I didn't feel the finish anymore before I took another sip, and I'm still feeling the finish. It is so long and pleasant, and it's got that tobacco note to it because of the barrel, and almost with the wine, it's almost a pipe tobacco because it's kind of floral notes with it, and I'm getting really some nice cinnamon notes on the finish and a little bit of sweetness. It's just, I still feel it. I mean, I'd have to say it timed out because it's been more than a minute. If it's more than a minute, I'm not going to keep counting. But
it's really good. It's really good. It's really different.
Yeah.
It's really different. There's layer upon layers. I said it before. I think it's going to continue to change. I mean, I've tasted it now 4 times. The 4th time, I kind of went going back to it. I kind of got that original sort of the Aberana type.
Kind of cinnamonish,
cinnamon
and sugar,
like a sweet, like a
cinnamon,
sweet,
like a churro.
Yeah,
I didn't get that, but
I got that on the front, and I'm really fascinated. Each time I'm digging into this, something else is popping up.
Yeah, I was gonna say that last sip I took while you were talking, I'm getting like that honey butter, which I had not gotten on this. So now all of a sudden it came back, and it's weird that it's such a light flavor that it went to that after having some dark notes before. So it just really bounces you around. It keeps you wondering what's going to happen next. And there are some people that wouldn't even like that. They like to know what they're getting in their mouth, and they know what they're tasting and what to expect. This one it's kind of like if you like surprises, this is really cool because it's like, it's going to surprise you with every sip, I think.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, it definitely is a surprise. I can say that probably the only bigger surprise you could possibly find would be if you found recordings of John Denver playing heavy metal in the late 70s. It's just, I had to say something silly there. It's constantly changing. This is a fun one.
Yeah, I'm super. It makes me want to try some of the other founders. Now, Dareinger always been my favorite Rabbit Hole product, to be honest. It's the one that because it's the wheated mash bill, and they do some really interesting things. Every one of theirs has something different, a different mash bill. So I wanted to try that. Dareinger was my first choice to dip my toe into their Founders Collection, just because it's expensive and I know I like their Dareinger line. So that was going to be probably my number one matchup, but that doesn't mean next time in town I wouldn't want to try something else. And I know they keep releasing Founders.
Right. And of course, I mean, it is kind of expensive, and part of it for me is this is not something you're going to pour. It's not an everyday drinker.
Oh no.
And this bottle is going to last a while.
But I would recommend a 1.5 to 2 ounce pour.
Great.
Because you want to kind of sit with it and let it do its thing. Like this 1 ounce pour is almost gone, and I feel like I wish I had a little more right now to sit with. But you know, you all don't need to watch us just enjoying ourselves forever. So,
Right.
so we keep it to a 1 ounce pour. But this is one I think you'd probably want at least 1.5 ounce pour of, probably a 2 ounce pour, and just sit for the evening with it.
Or maybe like a 44 ounce type Slurpee from back in the day. Just stick a straw in it and just kind of keep sipping it till you fall asleep.
No, you want to do this? No.
No?
That'd be wasted this.
Well, you'd find all the layers. Of course, you might be laid out, but it's really good.
It is great.
So, Rabbit Hole,
Cava.
excellent stuff. I so hope at some point that we can meet you and get you to sign a bottle and shake your hand and take a pic. We really like what you do at Rabbit Hole. These are outstanding bottles, good price points on one end. This one here, for the price, it's worth it.
And for the age and what they've done with it.
Oh,
the
yes.
different barrel.
Absolutely. Cheers to you out there. Always remember to drink responsibly. And if you like what we're doing, please subscribe to the channel. Cheers.
Cheers.